All right. And just a quick summary from before. Talked on numbers, angles, grass, and talked on what counters, when. And now going to get into some midline double versus mid triple, but more so mid double and mid triple. When to do what on that side of things, and what is the most effective way to do it. I refuse to let anybody take me out of midline on that side of things. But again, my contact information is here. If you want any of the information that I've shared tonight, you want our playbook, you want our film, I'll give you the whole season. Everything that I've ever learned, known, done in football is taken from somebody else. I'm a big believer in that. You can have all of our stuff on that side of things. And so reach out to me, reach out to Dom Perello, our offensive coordinator here. He worked with our offensive line, now works with our backfield as we picked up a younger offensive line coach from a rival college. But I want to start by going back into the numbers, angles, grass concept, and I want to dabble in some drill work. I know there's a lot of X's and O's in this, but I want to dabble in some drill work. And so I talked earlier. If you've kind of watched this sequence of things, or if you haven't watched this sequence of things, maybe go back and watch the sequence of things. Because what I'm going to talk about is this drill that's kind of come up a few different times for us. We call it our line ISO. In a line, isolation blocks, one-on-one. And it's really for the backs to do what offensive linemen do on a regular basis. Because for me, a block at the point of attack is the same when it goes body versus body. We work all of our guys, receivers back um, down to the offensive line, 6 point to 4 point to 2 point punch. You have to have it. You got to understand the finished product of a block. You've got to understand down block versus what we call a fan block. You got to understand whether you're denying vertical leverage or whether you're denying lateral leverage on that side of things. And so as I push this in here, you'll kind of get a feel for this. But we start with our guys straight apart. It's designed to get all blockers to fit one-on-one blocks. And we got to work all the angles that comes after the 6 point, 4 point, 2 point punch, and the basic mirror dodge. All of our guys do it, and they've got to fit it. They got to know where their hands go. They got to go, where their feet go. They got to know where their head goes. So we start base on, head up, 0-0. I got to keep him in my side or in my frame, his frame in my frame, my eyes under his eyes. I tell my guys about I want your head underneath his chin. So that way we go rock'em, sock'em robots. I need hand placement inside the frame, thumbs up. We're grabbing belts. We're holding the shit out of guys. Pardon my language there. We're holding inside the frame of the body. We're not going to get out on the shoulders, but we're holding inside. We want to make sure that we grab something, we sustain a block. And then we're going to work lateral to base. We're going to work them going to their right, 2 steps, boom, boom. And squaring that thing back up, we're going to work left to base, 2 steps, 1, 2, boom, boom, right? Punching in the chest and driving. And then we're going to scoot them a little bit further away where it's almost an arc release into a base, right? Because what changes as you get away from body to body is how they get from point A to point B. A receiver is coming off the line of scrimmage in a stock block. He's going to settle down, mirror dodge, but he's going to fit and punch, right? A slot may arc release to it, or he may aerial kick. And some of the things that I talked about. And on the line of scrimmage, excuse me, those guys, offensive linemen, they're just doing it, nose to nose on that side of things. But we will arrow kick on our inside veer triple option. And that's to deny lateral penetration. We want to kick the inside half, and we want to get these guys to play vertical. Let them run up the field. We want to deny his ability to fall back in on that side of things. And then when we go inside, particularly on midline, and that's where this one fits in, we're going inside on a down block. And so we're going to step with our inside foot. I know that doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense in this diagram, but we're trying to get our head across to deny vertical penetration. And you'll see it on our midline. And so I want to make sure that I talk a little bit about this line ISO block. And so we start this day one. NCAA, we're in helmets for a couple days. Day one, we're going to start talking about these blocks. And so here we've got left step, boom, boom, 1, 2, right? I've got a lot of young kids on my football roster as we grow this program, but we're working 1, 2, we're turning it back into a base. And you got to teach offensive skill guys that when they block, they're not sprinting. They got to be like offensive linemen. They have to pound the insteps of their feet. Once they get leverage, then you can sprint. And so you'll see these guys. These aren't great fits. I get that. I'm part of it. I'm repping the drill. I don't have 8 GAs and 4 analysts setting up every drill for me. I got to be part of the fit, right? But we're working our pad level, trying to get eyes under eyes. But like I said, this is day one. We're working blocking on day one, right? Finishing drills here. So here's 2 steps to the left on a base block. Now I've scooted them further away. Now we're working sort of arc release to the right. And so they're going to be coming across to their right, working to get to a point where they can square this thing back up. Boom, and fit it. And they've got to be prepared to drive it. They got to sit on the toilet, right? All the things, pounding the insteps, right? You're talking all the same things that I'm blocking. This is my veteran crew right here in the middle, right? You can see the pitter patter of his feet. This is a young man who's going to be a senior for me. Boom, hands are in the fit. His eyes are underneath, right? He's sitting down. He's balanced. He's on his insteps, right? And you see him pitter patter, right? These are my 2 veteran guys. The rest of these guys, freshman and sophomore guys, they're young guys. Okay. So then we take it back a little bit further. I'm going to slide out of here. And then you go into the season and we've got to work to do this drill with pads. Now we should get it popping. We've got to hit each other in our side of things on a regular basis. And so now we're just working based on head up techniques, shooting the hands, keeping him inside my foundation, and we're pounding the insteps. You'll see some of these young guys, they need to push this a little bit further, but you start to see their bases compared to day one stuff a little bit wider, right? My veteran crew over here, you can see that, right? They understand that, hey, I've got to control this block base on now on that side of things. Okay. Now, veteran group here, little veteran group this action. Now we're working to the right. We're going to be 1-2, we're punching, and we're working vertical from there. Boom, boom, boom. And we're driving the feet, right? Now we're in a little bit better control, right? That first one, if you go back, you look at number 8, he's like, what? I came here to run the ball, and now you're making me block a guy without pads on day 1 of fall camp? Yep. Okay. That's what we're doing. That's where we start. Okay. Now you can see he's understanding his pads under pads, his eyes are under eyes, his hands are in tight, he's grabbing belts, he's got a nice wide base, he's pounding the insteps. You can see the difference. He's pounding the insteps, he's still wanting to sprint. I got a bigger guy still wanting to sprint. This isn't going to be a great blocker. He's got room to grow on that side of things. So I'm going to try to keep moving fast on this and get to some midline on that side of things. But just another drill we do out of this is just readjusting our pads, refitting. You ask offensive line to refit blocks, you got to ask skill guys to refit blocks. So we're going to base and drive, and then I'm going to switch them, right? And the next guy is going to drop his feet. Well, I'm still working base blocks there. I think once we get here. Here we go. These guys are going to start driving. They're going to work their base. I'm going to switch them, swatting hands, refitting for the other guy, and now they're driving back. They start driving. They feel that pad leverage. Now we swat hands. We refit. 21's doing a nice job here, right? Driving the pad level. He's pounding the insteps, right? You got to force these guys to refit their blocks. Their blocks don't end perfect, just like offensive line blocks don't do, okay? And so we get there, and as this continues to build, you're going to see now we just get them a little bit further away, right? Now I'm getting them into sort of a fit. They're arc releasing, right? I get them into a mirror dodge. Guys enter in the box. They're mirroring, and then they're going to fit this. Boom. Okay? Can work this drill with arrow kicks. So now rather than those fan blocks, right, we're working arrow kick on inside veer, head placement to the inside. Head placement to the inside. He's inside. He's inside. We're kicking out. I got a fullback thinking that he's on the wrong side, but we're trying to let these guys go up the field. So you can change these angles, but essentially we start base on and we're working further away. We're working further away. And then you add this into your mesh in motion. Okay? You got to add this into your mesh in motion. And we've gotten to the point where we beat the crap out of each other throughout the season. I trust our kids. And I asked them to play very, very physical football. Okay. Right now we're working midline. I'm the 3 technique. I got a guard veer releasing me. I got a fullback straight ahead. And we're fitting this. He's inside. His eyes stay inside. And now he's working to take that thing as a down block. double insert, mid double, my backside slot. I know I ain't got a tackle here. They've got to imagine some of these things. I don't have, like I said, a bunch of GAs, a bunch of student assistants, and extra coaches. I've got to make it work, and they've got to be active with this. And so now my second slot's working off of his tail, but these guys are hitting one another in hand shields. I need them to be getting after one another in the hand shields. Quarterbacks are making the read. Here's my two veteran guys. Boom, you're going to see these guys want to get after it. Number 27, he's a veteran guy. Where can they lose, right? We should be head inside. We got to deny vertical penetration on front side of midline. Play side inside, he's going in, he stays in. He's got to make sure he denies vertical penetration to protect the quarterback. The other guy, the motion guy, leading up the hole, he's got to be head to the inside half. He's working to kick this guy out. We're trying to clear this lane right here, right? This has no offensive lineman in it. But for these two slots, they got to know. Quarterback makes the read. The only guy in this lane should be the read. If the quarterback turns up, this has got to go there. This has got to go there. And you see our kids, right? Hand shields sometimes get in the way. "27 ain't scared to hit one of his teammates. And when your kids aren't scared to hit a teammate, they ain't going to be scared to hit somebody else, right? So now when we get into midline, you're going to hear me talk about this. Well, what happens if it washes? Some people run mid double where that turns into mid triple. They're two different plays from me, right? But if we're going mid double and the B gap is gone, you'll see it on the diagrams in a second when I switch back to my midline presentation, right? We're reading the three technique. The tackle clears, the B gap's gone, the slots stay on their job. So now we still stay play side inside. My backside slot now kicks out the same guy. He's just on the outside half. But we've changed the drill. These guys understand it. They're putting the pieces together. We're paying attention. On the backhand side, boom, and we're fitting. We are running through one another. They get the hand shield because we've already beat the crap out of one another in practice. But we are fitting, driving, right? And we are getting after one another on that side of things. Okay, well, what happens, right, if you get a wash? Your tackle doesn't get the fan out. Well, I showed you on the line ISO into the mesh in motion, and my guys beating the crap out of each other with bags on that side of things, right? We are going to still go to our guys. I stay inside. I'm just not going through the B gap. Now I'm B to C. Well, the B gap closed down. I'm going to stay on the same track, working for that front side inside backer. I'm just doing it through the C gap. My lead block. Well, I can't lead up the B gap. The B gap's gone. I'm still leading off of my buddy's tail, and I'm kicking out the first thing outside of his inside front side lead. Both receivers, get in the box. Here we go. Veer releasing. Getting washed. I don't care. B to C. He sees it. He plays inside of it. That's fine. Our eyes are in the right spot. My motion guy recognizes, hey, I'm not getting up inside the B gap, so I've got to kick out the first thing off of it. Here we go. Boom. Same foot, same shoulder. Love it. Getting it kicked. 18, extra fitter. He's the safety. We talked about understanding where the extra fitter is. Backside safety's got to be the extra fitter. He overruns it. Get vertical through his inside number. Get vertical through his inside number. Right? Man, wish we could cape our feet. What was a B gap play, because the defensive end took away the B gap, just became the fullback in the A gap to a C gap fitter. They have to understand pre-snap and post-snap. There's the way we draw it. There's what they do. They get to play defense too. How do you fit it? Right? It's a long way for the receiver to go. He better be working there on that side of things. Man, look at this lead block coming around the edge. Boom. Kicked. Inside half. Receivers are working. They're working.